The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
Next, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He's our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
Yay, I'm back.
Yay! Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
Now that he's back, we're going full 3 hours.
There it is. And as for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mayor Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking to you all about Batman, One Dark Knight. So we'll be talking about that book. And we'll be talking to you all about the book Public Domain. So I got both of those reviews for you, as well as whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. And I'm sure there'll be other things we discuss too, because you know how it goes. It's Fantastic Forum. But before we do all that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, the show would not have happened, wouldn't have existed. So thanks, Scott. Hope you're doing well, good sir. And we want to make sure that we tell you how it is you can get down with Fantastic Forum and let us know what it is that you want to talk about and how you can contribute. So here we go.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Indeed. So go to fantasticforum.live. You can call in from there. If you want to chat, you can chat from the YouTube chat room or from the chat over at Twitch. So feel free, get down with Fantastic Forum however you want, however you can. I would say insert a witty chat comment here, but I don't think anybody's chatting so far, which is different. At the very least, we usually have somebody saying something. Tiger Claw might chime in.
Hi, guys.
El Hecht, right? But yeah, I will say it's wild because I don't know how it kind of snuck up so quick, but we're like Thor comes out this week.
Yeah.
Like, how y'all feel? Say what?
I'm feeling the love and thunder in my pants.
Look,
I was just going to ask.
The thing is, and I'm sure Tiger Claw would agree with me, the news isn't Thor. The news is the Rise of the TMNT movie trailer dropped today.
Now, that's like the movie for the latest iteration of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? Like that's the turtles that are all like different shapes and sizes, right?
Right.
That's what that little kid was talking about yesterday. Like he's excited about that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying something about Ninja Turtles. I'm like, all I know is Shredder's Revenge, little dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not 100% sure how to feel about that cartoon. What's your take on it, Jay? Is should I be paying closer attention to that joint?
According to my sources, yes, you should be.
Is your sources the creators on Twitter?
No, there are a few people in the cartoon community that are like, yeah, this is definitely a better show than you think it is.
Okay.
It's
like the movie, there's a lot of hype surrounding this movie.
Now, is
coming
the
out.
movie coming out in like theaters, or is
It's
it
on Netflix exclusive. Drops August 5th.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, so Ninja Turtles got a Netflix deal, huh?
Well,
Okay.
That's
Nickelodeon.
so weird. Yeah.
Nickelodeon had a Netflix deal.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because that's where they did
I
like
mean,
the
oh, go ahead, Mo.
Airbender.
I'm sorry.
That's where they did the Airbender stuff too. Like
Mm-hmm.
they had a streaming deal. That's why it's not on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, like it's
I
just
mean,
one of those things,
it's okay,
huh?
Jay, man. Don't worry about it. You'll be alright. You can use my Netflix password, Jay. You don't have to cry. It's over here.
Oz, have
I
you
don't
seen
have
this?
Netflix.
Have you seen this show at all, Oz?
No, and I'm looking at pictures of the art style, and why does Raph have a Red Lantern ring or something? Why does he have glowy fist or did he get that bangle from Miss Marvel?
It's that 36 chambers of Wu-Tang stuff. The golden arm. You know, like all those little kung fu powers, ninja powers.
Golden, like how cool if that was what was actually happening. Like, like I would love for that to be what was going on. Oh, dude.
I fixed it.
Have
Over in chat,
uh-huh.
Pinball Wiz says gonna Netflix and chill with that movie.
Okay.
Tiger Claw says, yeah, Rise of the TMNT movie is a Netflix deal, but they still plan on doing other TMNT stuff for Paramount Plus.
Interesting.
See, you don't have to cry.
Like now they got like a strong like bestiality thing going on over there, right? Between April and Donatello? Or is that not happening anymore?
That was the other incarnation, the 3D one.
April and
wait, is that in this one too?
To my knowledge, no.
Oh, okay. I could be wrong.
But yeah, you didn't know that, Alice?
I mean, is there no Casey Jones? What's happening?
He comes in later. But yeah, the thing was Donatello had a crush on April. And
April said, let's do it.
I don't know if it ever goes anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, if it's one of the turtles that has a crush on the human, okay, I get it. They're teenagers, hormonal, and she's hot.
Yeah.
Now, if it actually goes somewhere, then you know it starts to hit that borderline.
She saw that turtle video. And she's like, I need some of that action.
Yeah, but it was the dude making the noise.
Hey,
Some girls like that.
They're like, okay, whatever. You done?
Some girls like that.
Okay, well that's good to know.
Tiger Claw says, you guys haven't been reading the comics lately. I did jump on board with 130. I did jump on board with 130 thanks to...
You don't have to justify yourself to Tiger Claw about talking about y'all haven't been reading the comics. Tiger Claw talking to you about you haven't been reading enough comics. Come on.
Not justifying, but just saying, yeah, like going forward.
How dare you, Tiger Claw? It's like, yo, you guys haven't been reading the comics lately. With the question mark.
Tiger Claw's been getting it because he's helping me, you know, with the stock price. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
He goes on to say there's a town populated with mutants, and it has its first LGBT couple with Jenica and Sheena, which I did see that they're a very cute couple.
I don't know. Jenica, is that one of the new female turtles?
Yeah.
And then who's Sheena?
She's
Sheena
a pig.
Is the character from Unnatural.
She's not quite as hot as Leslie, but yes, she is a pig.
Unnatural with a lot of donuts. I don't know. I think if Merca did her, I think there'd be some competition.
Hey, if she did that book, it'd be a whole different. I don't think Nickelodeon would approve of that. Nickelodeon let them do the LGBTQ stuff just because nobody reads those comics.
So how are
Tiger
y'all
Claw
feeling?
says issue
Oh, go ahead.
130 shows Venus, who's kind of a Franken turtle, made of frog and turtle parts. That is true.
That sounds messed up.
It was kind of interesting because basically the frogs, I forgot what their team name is, but them and the turtles are kind of fighting over her because they both want her to join their crew. Right, Tiger Claw, the punk frogs, because parts of her were made with their friend, and Donatello is just excited to have another turtle.
He's just a horn dog.
She ends up going her own way, though.
I gotta say, Venus
it's
put
an interesting
together.
Time.
Venus put together doesn't look that bad, but they keep pulling up the image of her with her arms and legs missing, and that is some. Woo! Lawrence needs to read that one. It's creepy. Her shell's all jacked up. We gotta get Lawrence to read that one.
Damn. It's messed up, man.
But put together, she looks fine.
So, are you all gonna go see Thor this weekend, or what are y'all thinking?
I'm gonna try.
I don't know.
I mean, I will.
I don't feel a lot of excitement coming from the forum. Y'all are kind of like, take it or leave it.
I have the jitis, so my voice isn't as thunderous as it usually is.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I have to save my energy for my immune system to work.
Without the popcorn vessel, it's lost a little of its luster.
You said without the popcorn vessel?
Yeah.
Did they have another special popcorn thing?
No.
Oh.
I just really want that.
After the Doctor Strange one, it's done. That's it. Unless it looks like a Mjolnir, I can't have a vessel anymore.
What if it's a helmet?
I was gonna say
I'll take the helmet.
Or what if it's a destroyer head that actually opens, the slit opens, so you can see popcorn in it? How awesome would that be? Whoa, it's a lot happening. I should join that marketing team.
Although I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed in Taika Waititi. Now that I know that he never watched Star Wars, or at least not enough to know that Natalie Portman was in him.
Wait. I heard you say that earlier. You said that he offered her a role in a Star Wars movie?
Yeah, and I screenshotted it.
And she's like, yeah, I could have done that.
Here's what he said. Natalie said to me, what do you do next? And I said, I'm trying to work on the Star Wars things. Have you ever wanted to be in a Star Wars movie? And she said, I've been in Star Wars movies.
Nah, but if you know Taika Waititi, he's being funny.
I hope so.
I
would give him the benefit of the doubt. He's one of the few.
How funny is it to ask Natalie Portman, have you ever wanted to be in a Star Wars movie? It's not like he said, I have the perfect part for you. And then she's like, I was already Luke Skywalker's mom. He's like, have you ever even the way he worded it, that's strictly Taika Waititi is.
Those all took place in a universe far, far away. Let's see what happens in this universe.
What movie is he making?
He's making a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, what movie?
They haven't announced yet. It's Taika Waititi project.
What do y'all think?
He said that it's going to have nothing to do with the Skywalkers. He wants to totally distance himself away from that. He doesn't want to explain that this character turns up to be the third cousin on the mom's side of Chewbacca. Just a whole clean slate. Let's do something new.
He's gonna do that little Vespa crew.
Listen, I would watch that movie if he made it.
It would make it look better.
Yeah.
And the Robert Rodriguez hack.
I'd rather he did a Ewok movie.
Listen,
Revenge of the Wicked.
you were talking about. You said Revenge of the Wicked.
Something wicked this way comes.
Oh, even better.
Something wicked this way comes. I love it. No, but when you mentioned Chewbacca's cousin, I was like, I would watch a Taika Waititi movie of Kashyyyk.
We got Chewbacca's family. We don't. We already know his granddad's a perv.
Yeah.
Why do we know that?
Because he was watching porn in the Christmas special, like VR.
But that's
porn.
all. That's all legend stuff. That doesn't exist. That's not canon no more.
Is it?
It wasn't canon then.
I mean,
it wasn't canon then. It's like
Lawrence, you've seen the Christmas special, right?
We
actually haven't.
He's heard.
So he's over there with Taika Waititi asking her to play a character.
That's it. Well, I mean, listen, I don't need to see the Star Wars Christmas special.
I think you do.
I will say I'm intrigued when you're like, okay, Chewbacca's dad or granddad is watching porn. I'm like, wait, how do you all know?
And by the way, we see what he's watching.
Look, you don't need to porn people. Like, you don't need the age of like sex positivity now, like sex worker positivity. Like, you don't need to shame them for watching porn. The fuck?
It came out in the 70s.
I don't give a fuck, but you don't do that shit no more.
Yeah,
you act like you don't got little spackle up on that roof over there in your basement.
I think it's more a commentary on why is he watching it during the Christmas special. Like,
because he's a grandpa. That's what grandpas do. Half of the time is their dementia. They think they're 17 hiding in their room again.
Like, you said that like you were speaking from personal experience here. I'm like, damn. I'm like, Grandpa, get out of my.
I'm just quick with the wit. I never met any of my grandparents.
You're like, it is Good Friday. Pull up your pants.
You know how
Jesus Friday, kid.
There's a certain kind of fish you're allowed to eat on Good Friday.
Yeah, it's between some.
Wow.
And it looks like a pastrami.
A lap flounder?
No, see. Wait a minute. Look, we were very wholesome talking about Wookiee
You're
porn.
supposed to moderate.
This is where we've gotten.
If it comes with cheese, you walk away.
No, I love that though.
Or the sauerkraut.
No. I love that. That Good Friday, up until Good Friday, is like $179 for a fillet of fish.
I guess sauerkraut is okay unless she's German.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Good. Lawrence knows. I can see by his face. He gets me. That's all that matters.
Jay checked out of the conversation.
Yeah, but he stopped crying already.
Jay's like, you know what? Let me play Final Fantasy. This is why I don't pay attention to the show.
Unlocked.
Jay's like, what's happening?
He's just watching
Star Wars. What's happening with my Old Republic character?
He's like that little girl from that meme watching the house burn, just like
yeah.
He's like they're derailed. It's a train wreck. I'm just here.
Oh man. Okay, we should get into our reviews. That way, maybe Jay will participate. He's like, what I signed up for was 2 reviews, not any of this crap.
Yeah, he's out at 9. You don't give a fuck. I mean 8:30.
All right, let's do some review music.
Comic book review.
Comic book
Like
review.
Well, not like that, but like.
All right.
No, Coors Light
people.
tastes really good when you're only at 65% of your taste bud capacity.
They should use that on the commercial. Okay, who wants to talk about? Tell the audience about Batman: One Dark Knight. Who's up for it?
I can do that.
All right.
Do it.
Oh, there it is with the Batman voice.
Yeah. Grab. I mean, like I purposely infected myself to be able to do this today. It's a Black Label book. You know me and Black Label books. I love them. It's written and drawn by Jock. If you don't know who that is, you got to go back to elementary school, kid, because your education's not right. But it's basically the story of a prisoner being transported from Arkham to Blackgate prison, and people are trying to take him out to make a name for themselves. And Batman's helping out in the transport, keeping an eye on everything. And the villain is the MP, and he absorbs energy. And basically, the convoy's going. They take out the convoy. He flees. Batman chases him. All these gangs are trying to kill both Batman and EMP at this point. And EMP ends up sucking a bunch of energy and getting injured and taking out the whole power grid of Gotham. And now it's chaos. It's like no man's land contained to one comic book series.
Now, there is one gang that actually isn't trying to kill him.
Uh-huh.
His old gang is trying to get him back so they can do more crime.
Yeah. There's that.
But basically, everybody's trying to take him away from Batman.
Yeah.
Well,
and Batman is trying.
No. Only one group's trying to take him away from Batman. Everyone else is trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that counts as taking him away, doesn't it?
No.
No, they have different reasons.
Yeah. We have a gang literally like take Edward and carry him away from Batman. Like,
yeah.
That's taking away.
Okay. I don't know. I kind of feel like if the dude dies, I feel like he gone.
This is the J, Larry.
Feel like taking away to B, but I feel you. And then yeah, so this book basically turns into like 16 blocks where this fool has to get this guy back to the prison.
Yeah.
But he has none of his usual gear, no car.
Yeah.
None of that stuff.
Yeah.
Or at least none of the electrical stuff. Because I mean, you know, Batman has other stuff in his utility belt that's not electrical. But
the 1989 steam powered gun.
Right, with that grapple hook. Listen, I love that hook though.
Yeah.
Like a press air joint with a little puff when it shoots.
Yeah.
that joint's a little lick.
How much do you weigh?
Yep.
135.
Right. How much do you weigh? Right. Dang. Like, is that Batman? Like, can you not even do that anymore in a Batman movie? They'd be like, how dare you? It's like, listen, I'm trying to save lives here. How much do you weigh? Don't lie or we die. Oz, what you think of this book, man? You're a big Batman fan.
I didn't read it.
Ah, what a dick.
I didn't know
Oz
that's what we were doing.
It's okay, Oz.
We
it's
said
okay.
it
Oz works hard. I'm not mad at Oz.
Yeah,
hey,
I'm not mad.
Hey, you say he works hard. We haven't had a unboxing video in like a month.
Actually, I just shot one that I need to edit.
See?
So,
like,
that's
should
what I
have
could
been
have read a
finished 2
comic,
weeks ago.
or I could have worked on the video.
Read a comic. Specifically this one. I would have loved for you to read this.
Yeah.
But what I will say is Jock and Snyder. I mean,
This is just Jock.
I thought Snyder was involved.
No, these two books are both writer artist like singles.
Mm-hmm.
That's the theme this week.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm only half as excited.
I don't know, man. And see, that's the thing. You're only half as titillated because I don't know.
Like Jock did the Batman Who Laughs, and that is some of the most amazing art in a Batman book you'll find. So I trust him. Like even if the story itself sucks, which according to you guys it doesn't, the art will
Well,
more than make up for it. It's something that you're just gonna want to look at.
according to me, because we haven't gotten to Jay and Larry yet, but
Yeah.
and what I can tell you, Oz, is that it just has a very cinematic flow and feel because he is an artist, so he kind of writes to how the panels are going to keep going. It's kind of weird where you can see there's a lot of like more like camera direction in the writing than actual dialogue. There's some dialogue, but it's more like an action movie with not a lot of exposition and a lot of dialogue to move the story along from the Batman side. But then you have the plot, the B plot that is all talking, that it's the chick trying to take over prison duties from the Gotham PD. Like she wants to set up her own shop for these metahuman criminals. And that's kind of why they're doing this transfer, because she's like got this new technology for holding people in prison. She just wants to lock them up in prison, make money, and do good in her mind. And then Gordon's also like, hey, no, part of it is like some of them might need rehabilitation, but they need to be evaluated first before you can lock them up. And that's their little battle. And
Real
then,
quick, are we doing just issue 1?
if you want to do more, I'd be open to it because I'm gonna keep reading it. And I mean, it's on the DC Infinite for us, so you guys can read it too as it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah, I know 2 came out, but I didn't get to read it. So
Yeah,
you
and
can,
it's not.
Well,
on
I
you can
did.
mention,
You did.
you could talk about it.
Hey,
Yeah,
talk
I
about
read it. I was just gonna say, it turns out that what's her name, Vasquez, actually has some skin in the game when it comes to locking up metahumans. So that actually does start to get a little interesting
I
surrounding
believe
her.
it.
Also, she's a dick.
Yeah. Jay,
Yeah.
what did you think of this book?
Hmm?
What did you think of this book, Jay? Like, what was your impression?
Well, it broke through my I don't feel like reading Batman to like impress me. And yeah, like it is a cinematic thing. So like there definitely were a couple pages where I was like, fuck this shit. But then I went and read it anyway. And yeah, the book feels good. Like it feels cinematic. Definitely has like a No Man's Land 16 blocks type of feel.
Yeah.
And it actually is like just damn good storytelling. Yeah, like I actually really did enjoy this book, and I did not feel like reading Batman.
Oh, wow. They show you maps.
Yeah, that was.
Mhm.
Happening.
I love that, and they show you the map, then they show you the gang map, and then they show you
Yeah.
the gang map how in relation to now Batman having to carry this dude across Gotham.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
where
like
they're
that little
located.
touch. I just kind of scanned through it real quick. Yeah, it looks good.
Let me ask you this question though: where did that map come from? Like, is that like? Because I just like I was looking at the different parts, and I actually pulled the map up, so I'll share my screen so that the audience can see what we're talking about here.
It's
But
it's a rearranged map of New York. Now you can even see Central Park.
well, okay, but I'm saying like, is this like,
A canon
is that like a
No,
like
this
yeah
whole,
like it,
this whole story isn't canon. I don't think.
No, but that's Larry's question.
Oh
yeah
no,
yeah. I'm just like, where did that like he's just making this up for his story and that's it?
he just took New York and said, "Well, this is Gotham."
Okay, that's fair. Because I was just like, where did that come from? Because I'm like, like it's interesting. Like I like the idea that Gotham has like all these different parts, and it's not like, I've been reading Batman for a long time, but it's not like I'm deep into Batman lore, I guess, like that. Or at least I'll say this. I'm not deep enough into Batman lore that I'm like, oh, Gotham City has different parts. Like, I know there are landmarks in Gotham City, but I was just like, are these things like I've never heard of any of this.
There's
look, I've heard of some of those.
yeah, like the Arkham City games had maps.
Yeah,
and they split
Right.
islands also. There's several maps. I'm not sure if there's an actual official
Right.
map. But it's kind of accepted that it's New York.
Right.
Even
and
though
I know that
New York in DC.
I knew the Arkham games had maps, but I'm just like, well, it's a game. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to do that. And I understand, like I'm not, in my mind, it's not like I'm like, okay, well, this map translates to the comic necessarily. It's just like, it's a game. And I understand that this is definitely, Black Label. So I know that it's not like, mainline DC continuity. But at the same time, I was just like, did he just like come up with this or what? It's really interesting because like, like going back to the game thing, like I know that that's what happened with South Park. Like when they ended up started making that first
the Stick of Destiny.
The Stick of you're right. Stick of Truth, right? Yeah, the Stick of Truth, and they're these guys have been making South Park for all these years, and they're like, we actually don't have a map of the town, and they actually, because Matt and Trey were making the game with all the people, they're like, we gotta figure out like what the town looks like, and that map of the town became like the canon for the show. So, which was a cool thing because now where everything is in relation if you're looking at the game and played the game. But so I was just curious about that because I was just
it might be official.
I think the only official mandate is that it has to be an island.
I'm looking at the DC, the Lego map, and yeah, it matches.
Now, when you say the DC Lego map, what is that?
The Lego Batman games?
Oh, okay.
Their map of Gotham is the same map.
Oh, really?
As this. So I think it might be the official map of Gotham.
But Lego, look, are you sure that Lego Batman isn't just Black Label? How awesome would that be? Like all the Black Label stories take place in the Lego universe. Oh, damn it. I think I want to play that.
Yeah, I think I want to build that.
Yeah. That's interesting. So they match up. Okay, that's cool. But that was one of the questions I had. So I was just like, huh.
And I'm looking at this map from No Man's Land.
Mm-hmm.
No Man's Land is when they one of the first times they actually mapped it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the Gotham map.
Oh, okay. And it's interesting too because when I think about it, I feel like there was a map too in Scott Snyder's run as well, right?
Yeah.
During the whole damn it, what's that? Was that what year one?
Oh,
what was it?
Year Zero.
Year Zero. That's what it was. Yeah, during that Year Zero storyline, I feel like they had a map there too. Yeah. Okay, and that's the same map.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I did not know that.
It doesn't look like a bat like I figured it would.
You're so crazy. How messed up would that be if Gotham looked like a bat? Look, the sad fact is that I know there's plenty of DC people that would love that. They're like, no, that's how it should be.
Well,
it's like, man, if y'all don't
the
stop
Snyder
with
cut,
how corny.
the Snyder cut, fucking the Snyder cut.
That's one moment of levity in the Snyder cut, right? They're like, Gotham looks like a bat.
Sorry, I got the brain fog. I couldn't get the thought out.
They're like, where do you live? Oh, I live on the right wing.
Yeah. I live in the penis/tail. Wait, the 89 one where it had 3 prongs or just the regular? Okay, actually, I'm Batman 66, so there's no middle.
That's classic material right there, man. Like that's how you separate the Batman fans from the the friggin' Batman tourists.
Yeah,
It's like, let's talk about Batman symbols.
I'm a Gotham.
It's like, wait, what? So I gotta tell you all, I definitely came to this book excited because I'm a fan of Jacques and his work. And I was ready for a Batman story because I hadn't been reading a lot of Batman stories lately, or not too many. Maybe that's the better way to say it. You know, the last story I read was okay. Like I was reading the oh geez, what is that called? That the last little
Metal?
event they had, huh?
Death metal.
Dark
No,
Crisis?
I didn't read Death Metal, huh?
Dark Crisis?
No, before Dark Crisis, the thing, the little crossover event they had with
Death
Batman.
of the Justice League?
No, it's with it's with Batman and Robin and oh wow, Deathstroke. Thank you, sheesh.
Secret War.
It's not called Secret War.
It's some kind of war.
Right, that one. Right, that
Secret War.
Yeah, no, secret
Identity Crisis War.
Shadow War.
Shadow War. There it is. Thank you, Jay.
Secret.
Yeah, and so I read Shadow War relatively recently, and it didn't really float my boat, even though there were some parts of it that were cool. But so I was looking forward to reading this because I'm like, okay, I think this is going to be cool, and ultimately it is cool. However, what I will say is, especially in light of the conversation we were having last week, we were talking about, man, like, writer artists and how amazing it is that somebody could be this talented to do, like, usually there's a deficit in one area or the other.
Yeah.
And as we know, like, Jacques primarily is an artist. And again, the art's on point. It's very cinematic. And the pacing of it, I agree 100% with. But my issue was the characterization. I was like, the characterization's a little bit off on people. And it felt that way to me, like, literally, like, I felt like in that first, like, 2 or 3 pages, I was just like, yeah, like, Alfred sounds weird.
I'm mad that in Black Label Universe, Alfred makes homemade marshmallows. Like, why can't he do that in main DC? Why can't I do it in my universe?
Well, he's dead in main DC, but
he is now.
That stop you.
No, I mean main DC.
Yeah, main DC. He's dead.
Pre-Flashpoint. That's
Wait,
real
old DC.
Real DC.
That's like pre-New 52.
No, post-New 52, pre-Flashpoint.
After
But
convention?
Go ahead, Jay.
part of the deal with Black Label is that they're allowed to, like, be off.
Yeah.
Like, the
They're
characters
allowed
are
to be different. They're not allowed to be off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, different is off to some people.
Yeah.
People don't
I
like
don't know,
anything.
Like Black Label is almost
Wait
like
till you get to Mon.
Oh, go
Wait till
ahead.
you get to Montoya. Like, she's way off, but it works because it's Black Label.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Black Label is kind of a mix between Vertigo and Elseworlds, you know,
Mhm.
and it kind of like, I mean, that's how I kind of see it, and as long as Batman feels good, I'm good. Yeah, and the book is good, but the other people I don't really care about, you know. It's Black
Like-
Label. They're only gonna exist for 3 issues.
And I hear that. And I guess that's my thing where I'm just like there's nothing wrong with, especially again when we're talking about something like Black Label with characters acting different. And I feel like a good example is, like, say, Batman like White Knight, right? It's like obviously characters are acting drastically different than they would in what we would think of as the main Batman continuity. But they don't necessarily act out of character. They act how the character would act in that situation. And I guess what I'm saying is, like, I felt like Alfred is a little off. Like he's not acting like how Alfred would act in a different situation. He's not acting like Alfred in very small ways that are, and it's a little nitpicky, honestly. Like I can 100% admit that it's a little nitpicky, but I think that there are other, like, it wouldn't shock me at all to find other people that felt that same way, because I feel like even Batman was like a little weird. He was the most consistent, which, you know, you're not gonna write a Batman book and have your Batman acting wildly different unless there's a good reason for that. But like, even when you, like, Jay, you just mentioned Montoya, I felt like I didn't, you know, Montoya's only has a very small role in the first issue, but I did feel like she came across a little bit different. Commissioner Gordon, I'm like, dude, this guy, like, why is Commissioner Gordon's petty as hell? And I'm just like, why? Like, that's so not what Commissioner Gordon's like. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not to say that he has to be all super altruistic or, you know, but I was like, man, Commissioner Gordon feels like all he wants to do is tell this woman, I told you. Didn't I tell you? I told you.
What Larry needs is...
When did I tell you? A long time ago.
What Larry, what you need is those little journal entries in Mass Effect for each of these characters to show you why they got to where they're at. Like, you can read those, you'll be fine.
I'll be fine. I need Jacques to hit me with the little lore button.
Why you call him Jacques? Like, he's not French.
Jacques.
His name is Jacques.
What? Jacques?
Yeah, Jacques. Like
an athlete. So you're supposed to say it with a little bit of disdain.
Yeah. In fact, he's actually kind of like built too.
Mm-hmm. No, I've met him. He was a cool guy.
Yeah, he is. He lives like ganja too.
He wasn't cool to you, Oz?
I've never met the man.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, at a certain point, Oz, you realize it has to be you and not these creators, right? No. It's like, if they all mistreat you. No, I'm joking. But yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. That was the only thing that was like a little bit of a downside for me, just because I was like, oh man, everybody feels a little weird. But like you say, it's Black Label. The story is interesting. The character is created for this story, right? Like, EMP is not a character that existed before this book, is it?
I don't think it is, but I'm not a DC dude.
Yeah.
It's probably an old character nobody used anymore, and he decided to revive, kind of.
I'd be shocked to find that out. Like, it feels like a made-up guy to be. Like, it feels. Huh?
I think he's made up.
Yeah, like it, because and that was another thing that I was a little bit like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not mad at him using a made-up person, because again, it's a Black Label story. At the same time, it feels like there's enough like electrical supervillains that he probably could have used one of them.
No, I think I prefer that he makes somebody up. Give us something new that'll give the regular, DC guys something to play with later. Unless they kill him. I haven't read it.
But do we need more electrical villains?
Yeah. I mean, are you mad because he's not black and electrical?
We need more bat books.
That's what it is. It's like, I'm like, if you're gonna make a new electrical villain, they have to be black. Them's the rules.
I still, every once in a while, I remember, why black people gotta have electrical powers? Gives Black Spider-Man electrical powers.
Right. Yeah, it's true. It's true, man. It's such a weird thing that happens. But yeah, but I guess more than anything, I'm just like, I don't know. It felt like, and again, I by no means am I a DC expert? But I'm just thinking like I felt like there's at least like 3 like Batman villains that have like electrical powers. So I'm just like, why are we not using one of those folks? But okay,
Maybe they do end up killing him.
maybe, and that might be a good reason why not to. But it's Black Label; you can kill whoever you want. Like Joker is Batman in a book. It's like surely we can make like Livewire the center of attention, right? Couldn't we? Like that doesn't.
Don't call me shit.
You know. So I don't know. But again,
I really
maybe
enjoyed the artwork a lot. Like I think that helped. This is one of those instances where the writer artist that usually is primarily an artist, kind of you see him shining, and he's a lot of this book could just been silent, and you still see what's happening. You know,
it's true.
in fact, if it would have been a silent book, like you just get the little blurb saying what's happening, and you take away that B plot and make it a 1 or 2 issue, like one of those black and white things shorts, it would have been so sweet, you know. But even the way it's presented here, it works really well. And I don't know about issue 2. Jay, you can tell me if he continues with that, but I'm like, yeah, I was real happy with the art, and I love the book.
Yeah, the art's very consistent.
I was worried that you didn't like because the art is more of the indie style, and I thought you would get over it real quick. But if you enjoyed it, I'm happy.
No, it's like it's way cleaner than the stuff that I'm tired of at the moment.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't feel indie to me. It does feel like not gritty, but like halfway between gritty and noir.
Yeah.
But that doesn't translate to indie.
Okay.
And yeah, I enjoyed the artwork. I thought it was good.
Cool.
It's a little cleaner than some of his usual stuff, right?
I think so, yeah. But I think because there's a lot of blacks, like not people, but
the blacks.
Before I get canceled, let me clarify.
All right.
There's a lot of like it's almost done in the style of the animated series in the sense where they just put like a black canvas and then do the highlights in it, and it allows for a little more definition.
It almost has it almost came across like a year 1 feel to me too.
Yeah,
like a Batman year 1.
It
like,
definitely
that kind of.
It kind of draws from a lot of different Batman stories you enjoy. Like it can easily be an episode or 2 of the animated series. You know, it could be a DC showcase or like with the ones like the little shorts. You know, it has that good feel. It's not tied down by continuity, and like really the only thing you need to know is that Batman's Batman, and he uses technology.
Yeah, and that was an aspect. Oh, go ahead.
It's definitely like when I read comics or review comics, I like to think about how would I present this to somebody who's trying to get into comics. You know, would be something that I could give somebody to read, and this one would be one of those. Like, you know, this is going to be an easy to get into. You know, if you like this, you could then give them some of the Snyder Jock stuff. Maybe, you know, then some maybe easier continuity stuff that they are, you know, they can get into at their leisure if they want. You want to read way back then stuff, way that, you know, but you already know enough that you like it, yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I definitely liked the whole idea that it kind of stripped Batman down to his basics, and that's an exciting prospect. Just because it's not like a, not every Batman book leans heavy into him having a lot of gadgets,
Yeah.
but just the idea of knowing, like, okay, he, like, that stuff is basically kind of out of the
Right.
picture right
It's
now.
almost
Now
like
you're like, okay,
a Deus Ex Machina dynamic with his thing. Like he always pull out something, even if it's just a paper clip.
right,
You know.
right,
And here it's like
right,
kind of it starts off with it. Well, the book ends with it being stripped. You know.
mm-hmm,
So it's like let's see how he gets out of this. And I think
right,
that was what really like got me into it. Like just how it
hmm,
ends, and it's like okay, we got to do this the hard way. You know.
right, right.
And
And it's a good hook because it's like, dang,
yeah,
like this fool has to carry this fool like on his back basically,
yeah.
and trudge through the city with all these gangsters coming after him, trying to kill
In the
this
dark.
guy, and then the one, the one group like Jay mentioned that's trying to like take him away, and it's just like,
And he can't think clearly. Like, I thought
who,
that was kind
Batman?
of cool. Yeah.
Oh, why can't he think clearly? What happened?
His proximity to Edward is fucking up the synapses in his brain,
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
like making it
sheesh.
harder for him to think.
And that's kind of like
Sucks.
that's kind of why I guess he created a different villain too because like
Mm,
that effect he never had with any other villain, you know.
right.
And then not
So
it
like
meant
Batman.
it could be a Black Label thing where like that's just what happens in Black Label, but DC fans that's not what he does, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're over here
Well,
saying
hell,
that's not what Jim Gordon does.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
You're not
So
paying
I'm like,
honestly,
attention.
even Marvel fans are like that.
well, yeah, I know, but I like saying DC fans because they like the Snyder
I
Cut.
know.
I forgot what I watched Sunday. What was I watching where the guy just yells at somebody like, you know what? You and your fucking incel QAnon Snyder Cut bullshit, get the fuck out of here. I forgot what it was.
Was it The
That's
Boys? That sounds like The
No,
Boys.
no, it wasn't the boys. I watched. I'm behind on the boys, so I think it was like I think it was only murders in the building.
mm,
I think
Hmm.
it was that, and
that sounds like it could be
and it was
good,
Michael Rappaport saying. it.
dude.
I
So
think,
funny, man.
but yeah.
The guy's hilarious.
Um,
I look. You should catch up on the boys.
I look.
Are you caught up?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a
How did
season
you
and
deal
a half
with that
behind.
scene with A Train?
Yeah, it was rough. A lot of like. I was just like, Jesus Christ, man. Like it was a lot, but I got through it.
Yeah, I was worried that might be a little much for you.
And like just
And
all of the like
by
the
worried, he was like,
symbolism.
No, I wasn't like I was like
"You're doing it."
literally just like, oh shit! Like I hope Larry's okay.
He'll be
Yeah,
fine.
it was a lot, but I made it. I made it. The last, like, the friggin' the reveal from the last episode, I was just like,
The finale
like,
this Friday, huh?
I
Yeah,
think so. Yeah.
I was supposed to try and catch up by this point, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. You should definitely do it, man.
I
I
mean,
think you're gonna enjoy it.
yeah, that reveal was crazy.
It was. But yeah, the idea that you got Batman bare bones, and then I didn't even realize or recognize that he's not able to think through things as clearly. So yeah, that's gonna affect his strategy. So it's like really like this fool like kind of has to brute force his way these 4 or 5 miles to this spot. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy because it's just like, I mean, Yeah, it's pretty insane. Like this the idea that Batman's gonna have to carry a dude on his back through hostile territory to get him to a prison cell. Yeah, and even how the whole like thing went down with him blacking out the city. It was just like, sheesh, man. Like that was definitely a very cinematic kind of thing there too, and like all symbolic. Because I was like, really?
I love when dude came at Batman with the taser.
So, okay. You all have anything else you want to say before we rate this book?
I don't.
Okay. Look, Oz, just based on what you've seen and what you've heard, how would you rate?
How would you rate our review of this?
4. It was a little clumsy in some points, but you got your point across.
Too much voice.
It's not very cinematic, but
too much
made for TV.
Yeah, it's like it seems like Lawrence said he read the book, but then he didn't know anything about.
And he had all these questions.
Batman had COVID fog, and didn't know if the map was real. It's it's a lot of. I have a lot of doubts about Lawrence.
That should have been done in pre-production, is what you're saying.
That's fair. That's fair. I get it. I got doubts about me too. Jay,
don't you take a week off, motherfucker.
Jay, what do you think about, or how would you rate Batman: One Dark Knight?
I would give it a 5. Even though there's like one thing where I'm like, oh, this is a Black Label book. They should be able to do stuff. And then I'm not sure if they're going to do anything. And then it's like, well, anyway.
What was it?
I know. Jay's like, let me be as cryptic as possible. Jay's like, I don't have anything else to say except to drop this little.
He's trying to get our Amazon affiliate link to buy the book. It's like people intrigued.
He's like, let me toss this little puzzle out here, this little thought puzzle for y'all real quick. Like, okay.
Like, I don't want to spoil it, but there's something that happens in issue 2 where I'm like, yeah, like it could have been more brutal if it's Black Label. Unless they're going to do something different with it. But it didn't look that way.
Okay. All right. Moses Magnum.
Yeah, this is a 5 for me, too. It's just... I'm loving the DC Infinite app, and it knows me, so it just popped it up. And, hey, you might like this. Yeah. Because I'm just reading Black Label stuff. But yeah, it's working. It's working better than Comixology, and I have it there. I do wish they were day and date, but I understand why they're not. They're trying to make that money too. But yeah, I think I'm gonna start up a collection for, a collection of like the Black Label trades.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 issues together because they're usually about 3 issues a piece. So.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start doing that because I really like the format. It's a bigger format, and I read it digitally, and it worked perfectly. I've always complained about reading Black Label books, buying them digitally has been a pain, and on the DC Infinite app, it worked. So along with that, and the quality of the book is like, it was a great experience all around.
Oh, there you go.
So 5 out of 5.
There you go. As for myself, I'd give it a 4. It's a good book. It's a good book. It's just hard for me to give it a perfect score just because there were some parts of it that I was just like, but it's a good book. You should mess with it, especially if you like Batman and if you like Jock. You should mess with it. You know what I mean? It's a match made in heaven for you. So
yeah,
there you go. So the DC Infinite app is a good look, huh? You're liking that?
Oh yeah, dude. They got a lot of stuff, and it feels like they have new stuff really like on there quick.
Okay.
Like almost some, I think some things they do day and date because they just want people to read it. Period. Like the Earth Prime stuff comes out
Mhm.
day and date. And that's why I thought a lot of it did. But I was trying to go back and read Swamp Thing Green Hill, a book that we reviewed a couple
Yeah.
like 6 months ago. Click here to see that video. But I was trying to go in that, and they only had the one book, not the
Oh,
whole
that's fair.
series. But the book ended a while ago, so
Oh,
it
did it
seems.
end?
Well, it's only 3 issues. DC Black Label.
Oh, I didn't realize it was only 3.
Yeah, almost all Black Label books are only 3 issues.
Yeah, I know that's like often the case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but either
You
way,
thought
they
they
only
were
have
going to
issues.
make an exception for Swamp Thing?
I mean,
Well,
I don't know. I mean, the way that the
Green
story was
Hell,
going, it felt like it could have been more than 3 issues.
I don't know, man. There's only one patch of land on the whole Earth. You only get 3 issues at most out of that. Constantine in the Lighthouse, yeah, that's a 3-issue story, man. But either way, I mean, if it's more, it's more. But they should at least have issue 2 there by now. That's
Yeah.
just something they didn't have. But for the most part, I feel they do have there's a lot of shit to read there, even classic old stuff. And I'm loving it. Like I'm almost glad that DC Universe app failed or got approved or whatever we want to say happened to it. It just turned into comics, so it works. I mean, I love it. I would like. I was gonna get the Marvel one too for us, but apparently that app doesn't work. Like everybody hates it, so it's not so much that it takes so long, but it just doesn't work. And they do actually unlimited originals, and I want to read those. But there's a new one coming out for I forget for who, but I wanted to read it. So, yeah. So I don't know. I might do a trial or something and see.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff eventually comes out. Like they eventually like collect it, but
but by then I don't give a shit about it.
No, I hear that.
It's almost like with the app, there's certain stuff that comes out in print, and even though I like it and love these characters, and I want to read it in Black Label, by the time it comes out collected or it gets to an app, I don't give a shit about it anymore. I'm reading the new Chip Zdarsky book. So
right.
So, I'm spending money on other shit at that point. So yeah, if they could just give it to me a little more I don't know. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. Yeah.
Right. All right. Look, Moses provided us with the amazing seg, so we should take it and talk about public domain. Jay, you want to tell us about this book?
Sure. So it's about so a guy creates a comic and it's owned by the company, and they go on to make movies, and the writer of the comic is getting like bank from the deal, but the artist isn't getting anything, even though he kind of just made the character, and the comic book studio is getting money making movies, and it's basically like just this whole family thing situation about creators and their battles with each other and with the comic book companies. And it turns out that this one creator might actually own the character, who's the domain. It's the name of the character. And so it's basically him finding out that he actually does own the character, and he's going to be clashing with the writer of the comic and the comic book company that owns the character.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Yeah. Moses, what'd you think of public domain? I'm sorry. Well, yeah, no, public domain. Yeah.
Yeah. This is like what I love of independent comics, you
Mhm.
know, and this is what I love about writer artists doing this thing together. Everything just fits so well from character design. There's one panel where there's a weird shadow and a weird light source, and it's only on one character. And I screenshot it. I'm like, I'm gonna talk about this. By the time I was on, I just deleted that. I'm not gonna talk about that shit. This is a good one. You know? It's like Chip Zdarsky. I love Sex Criminals. I love his artwork there. I tried reading a lot of the stuff that he was writing for Marvel, and it just wasn't. I don't think he was a good fit there. You know,
At
and
Marvel?
yeah, as a
Oh,
writer, I don't. He's a cartoonist.
yeah,
He has stuff to say from him, and I
yeah.
don't think Marvel will let him use what he has to say from here and here on with their heroes. You know,
Mm.
so a lot of his stories, I read his Spider Man, and it just felt like they were just trying to make it feel like the movie at the time,
Yeah, I hear
and
that.
it just to me it just felt hollow. It's not what I like an independent artist for. I want him to make money, I want him to get
Mm-hmm.
paid,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll buy those trade paperbacks from him directly at an artist alley, but I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna buy, right now he's the next Batman writer. And it's like that's a weird thing too, because it's to me it's the same thing. I do feel DC editorials kind of taking a turn now, and
Mm-hmm.
they're taking a lot of more chances. So I
Mm-hmm.
think he might be a good fit there, but I think this is his good load right now. I think
Mm-hmm.
this is the shit. Like it gives you a compelling story about family, about what it's like to make comics, which he knows,
Mm-hmm.
And as a comic fan himself, he's seen it happen to
Right.
other people, and he's just taken from it. And he even takes a jab at the MCU,
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
so it's like, I know, like to me, like I always felt like he wasn't a good fit at Marvel for what they were using him, how they were utilizing him, and uh now he's moved on to DC, and this book comes out. I'm like, yeah, I need to have an interview with Mr. Zdarsky. Like I need to get him on this channel and talk to him mano a
Mm-hmm.
mano with a couple
Mano a
of
mano.
a couple 40s
I
and a couple blunts, and then I'll get to the bottom of that, 'cause I know there's something there. There's something there that he probably can't talk about, but I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
yeah. I will say that I feel like his where his passion seemingly lied um was in Daredevil. And so but
I'll give it a shot,
definitely
but I doubt I'll be like. Is it like Mark Wade writing Daredevil?
no, because Mark
Okay.
Wade's Mark Wade and Chip
Yeah.
Zdarsky's Chip Zdarsky. But it's very good. It's very good. Like I'm not, I can't, I don't want to lie to you and be like, yeah, it's just like Mark Wade, because
Yeah.
no, it's not. It's not. But it's not like Mark Wade's Daredevil is so good, and
Yeah.
I want to say to you, it's as good as Mark Wade. I don't know that I can say that. I feel like somebody else might though.
Yeah. The reason I asked that is because I think they're friendly. Mark Wade
Hmm.
and Zdarsky. Like I've seen panels
I
with them
believe that.
together and their chemistry together. Like
Yeah.
if they had a podcast together, I'd tell you to just close this box here where you see us and go watch theirs, because I would. They got good chemistry together,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
working on. I look irredeemable spinoff with these two dudes. Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows? But yeah. So that's why I asked, because it's like I can tell that Zdarsky is like read Mark Wade and
Oh
would
yeah.
like his work.
Absolutely.
So I'd give his Daredevil a shot.
Oh no, absolutely. You should. You should. It's really good, and it's like it finished with the whole like Devil's Reign thing.
Okay.
Which it's one of those things where that probably didn't need to be like its own little mini event. It should just been like the last few issues of Daredevil, which is basically what it is. But whatever. Marketing, somebody makes a choice where they're like, we're gonna make it an event and people will buy it. So they did.
needed a title for the next like Phase 5 movie.
Right. right. But back to public domain though. Yeah, it's really interesting because like I feel what both of you are saying, and I definitely agree. Like it does feel like it's a person who understands the industry and is making commentary on where the industry is at currently. It's not to say that it like I love the fact that it's not like it doesn't feel like at least at this point, because it's only one issue. So I should put that caveat in here. Only one issue so far, but it doesn't feel necessarily like it's like a takedown, but it's definitely trying to shed light or bring or shine a light on some of the ways the industry doesn't respect creators in the way that it should. Yeah. Along with, like you said, telling the story of this particular comic creator and his family, and like what it's meant for this particular person to have created this character, and what it means now that not only is it becoming more of a pop culture icon, but also what it's meant just to have that character exist for that family before it became popular, which is what I particularly was like, oh wow, like this is really cool, because it's like showing the juxtaposition of it. Like, yeah, it could easily have just been a book about, man, this character is super famous now, and this guy helped create that character and how that affects his family. But Chip Zdarsky took the time to be like, no, like, how did they feel about it before it became a pop culture phenom? You know what I'm saying? Like, what were their thoughts about it then, and how like they looked at it, and it's like there's different people in this family that had different feelings about it, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's real cool, because that part could have easily been left out.
Yeah, and like
a lesser writer would have left it out.
And that's the thing, is like this book is like a lesser writer would have had the dad die, and the story is something totally different, like finding out posthumously that he's the owner and the family trying to cash in, and it that didn't. But I kept the way that this family kept interacting with each other and not interacting with each other leading up, like it's a dramatic, like tension building with just like plot and no action, and to me that's like it's like I want Alexander Payne to make the movie adaptation.
Another interesting. Oh, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
But that's kind of like the way the character, the different characters in here viewing the same thing, right, and have their own distinct voices, just really makes it like a much bigger story than it really is. And that's right. That's this, when I said what I love about indie books is this: you take the minutia, you take the everyday man in this crazy situation, and you make it interesting. And this is what movies were like in the 60s and 70s, and they haven't been anymore, and this is the comic where I get to see a movie like that.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And it's really interesting because it like, I really like the touch of how he made one of the sons a reporter. This guy creates this comic book character. They make one of the sons a reporter. So he writes stories, obviously. Right. He's He's a newspaper reporter, right?
Yeah. Columnist, yeah.
Colin, like, oh, I guess maybe it
Yeah.
could be a magazine. I don't
Could
know.
be a magazine, could be, but it feels like it's like more like a New York Times type place or
It
USA Today type.
it feels, at least it felt to me like more like a traditional media versus like a new media kind of thing. Like it doesn't feel like it's a website.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially not like with the bosses he was dealing with.
Right. It feels like it's like literally like he's like
Perry White, if I've ever seen.
Right. He's like a newspaper reporter. It felt like a newspaper reporter, and I could be wrong about that, but that's the impression I got from it. And like there's a point in the book where he gets assigned the story to talk about the movie and the stuff going along with it, and he has to interview the actor that's playing the main character that his father created. And just that entire scene and that interaction is really like pretty amazing because, this guy, like it's an interesting thing because the two people are coming at, like the reporter and the actor are coming into the situation from two different perspectives, from two different dynamics. And, when the son starts talking with the knowledge he has, of course, as the fact that he knows everything about this character because his dad created it. And also that, he's a reporter on the story that he really didn't want to be on. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to be reporting on this particular story because of the connection he has to it. But, his editors like use that passion and make it a great story. And the actor is treating him like he's like a fanboy kind of dude, but that's not, of course, like the right frame, because it's like, no, it's like he knows everything about the character, but not because he's this fanboy. It's because it's like a personal kind of thing. And like even just the whole idea when like the guy's like talking about how comics, like these characters are like our modern mythology. And he's like, if you say modern mythology, stop saying modern mythology. Like he tells it. And it's just so funny because one of those things where it's like as a person that's a fan of comic books and that has seen a lot of actors do interviews about comics, it's like, dude, the term modern mythology gets tossed around a lot.
Even talking to somebody that you know and you respect, but aren't like superhero fans, talking about the movies a certain way. I can see I watched your live stream with Scott Rubin, Larry, and it's like I know there was one blink you did where it's like, man, I wish Mo was here.
Hey man, keep that to yourself. No.
It's a different, that's a whole other conversation. But the way people they perceive superhero as a genre, where it's like, no, superhero is more of like the MacGuffin, and you can do all sorts of stories around it, and people don't get that. But you only get that if you read comics, because here we are, that essentially they turn superhero adaptations into a genre of comic book storytelling here, and that's how you can do it in any comic.
No, I agree, man. But it's really interesting because I literally went into this book blind. I didn't know what it was going to be about, and I was just like, okay, well, let me give this a read and see what it is. And I'm like, oh, like this is a book about people that make comics.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is like about a little bit more than that. Uh-oh, they coming for you, Joe? They coming for you?
No, I thought they were, but they're staying outside, so I'm good.
Okay. Say the word. I'm 3 minutes away.
Trust me, if they come through the door, I'm gonna be saying lots of words.
Okay. Good. I'm coming to help you, bro.
I got the Hammer of Dawn on speed dial.
But no, man. And I was like, oh, okay, no, this is about like something more than just people that make comics. And I'm like, okay, this is about like the industry and how it how it tries to adapt and subvert and like it's like it's more about it's less about people that make comics and more about how people that make comics are treated.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, it's good. It's real good. Yeah. Yeah. And on top of that, it like, or not even on top of that, more importantly, it's a story about family, which is kind of crazy because it's like, yeah, like, it's not to say that, like, well, no, I mean, I guess in some ways, I guess it depends on what page you're on, but it's like in some parts of the book, the fact that how people that create comics are treated is the backdrop for the family aspect of things.
Yeah.
And then in other pages, it's like the family, like the family dynamic is the backdrop for how people that create comics are treated.
And then
I'm just like, that's pretty cool how it shifts back and forth like that.
And then overall, it's like if you just take one character and bring it out, and it's like a story of like resentment and coping mechanisms. You know,
100%.
It's like that one panel with the wife, and you're like, I find those movies terrible. And
right.
then, then they talk about the other son, and he's like, oh, he's got a kickboxing tournament or something. Like, Dad, he's learning. Yeah, I know. And the dad's okay with it. Like he knows he like the way the dad character is done is so like I don't think that person ever existed. Like that's why we're reading it in fucking comics, because that's a figment of our fucking imagination.
I don't know, man. Like I feel like I feel like I would be lying to you if I'm like, oh, I know who the comic creator who it is, because I don't. But I feel like I've met a lot of really nice comic book creators.
I know. Look, but they're nice because you're a fan. Like they're interacting with a fan. You're not.
I'll give you that.
You're not like cooking his breakfast, saying like you have $1 million idea and you're not doing anything to really claim your $1 million idea. You're not like, oh, a son that watched your dad struggle, like as that dude, and say like, I met the closest I came to that was I'm not gonna say his name because it's actually like an embarrassing story, but he's there and I'm getting my artwork signed, and his wife is there and she looks miserable, and the baby daughter is throwing a tantrum, and it's like, and the baby daughter is like bored at Artist Alley, and it's on some big name books, working along some big name talent, but he's not at the DC or any other comic company a booth, featured with the little card at the signing. He's there selling prints of the little card that they're signing there that he worked on. And I bought a bunch, and I'm like, and I go, oh, this is your wife, and like, yeah, sorry, it's just it's hard going from city to city with a little kid. And I go, hey, man, you're doing it, man. You fucking, you bring us this beautiful shit. You're like, you take part in creating this beautiful shit, and I appreciate it. I bought at that point. I wasn't even like Money Magnum. I was like fucking Rupee Magnum or Turkish lira. But I did buy it. I still have those prints here, and those prints to me are like, man, I saw this guy going through this, and look, he's going through that 20, 30 years into his career.
Right.
It's not even like, well, maybe not 30, but about maybe 15, 20 at the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, the dude,
it's like you should be getting more respect,
better, more work, more money, like,
right.
And but it's just, I'm like, man, I get. So when having that memory and then seeing the wife's perspective, like I always, even Oz was there when I asked, I forget the name of the dude, where I'm like, oh, does your kid like drawing too? And he's like, oh, he wants to be a lawyer or a soccer player. And I'm like, oh man, that's fucking interesting. the family dynamic, the wife, because the artists weren't even there. So I talked to the wife for a little bit, and I always talk to the family members because to me that's the interest. Like, how do they deal with this? Like,
Right.
eventually when I drop dead and this show becomes a huge success without me, they're gonna interview, the E True Hollywood Story. Emily's gonna talk about, oh well, he used to like this and he had these visions for this, and but she's like, but I hated it because I couldn't watch TV while he was doing the show. Talking to the mic. She's like, I can watch TV.
Then
Right.
sometimes you try to get me to say shit.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't want to talk to those people.
yeah.
I love how she didn't take the time to be like, I don't hate you. she was like, I can watch TV. Oh, there! Oh, look at her! Look at her!
She's a hefty
Hilarity.
27 pounds now.
Nice. Oh, so
she
cute.
She grabbed onto my headphone. Let go. But yeah, this book really captures that and that the shit that I find interesting, and I hope other people do too, man, because that's like there's stories behind the stories that you read in comics. There's people behind it,
Right.
We reviewed that book with Henry Barras, who's I think his Batman book's coming out in a couple weeks, but he he's a Hispanic dude, had a Top Cow book, and I'm like, why aren't you at the Top Cow booth? He's like, tú sabes,
Absolutely, man. It's a wild thing, and it's interesting because I feel like, I mean, we all know because we're all comic book fans, and we all are, at the very least, gregarious enough, or just gregarious enough to to mess around and
that says pinchy Guian.
All right, look, they're delicious. No.
I love Dueros.
There it is. Every time I go to Taco Bell, I get one, a Pinche Guero Supreme. No. I'm funny because I'm like, that's a white supremacist. No, I'm sorry. Anyway,
and they're delicious.
Oh man.
Hex says G.
But we talk to creators, and it's like, we not only like, and I guess more importantly, we listen.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we're trying to like a lot of the time we're not necessarily trying to tell them anything, like, and that's something that you'll notice at conventions sometimes. Like sometimes people have ideas that they're trying to like get creators to adopt, and it's like, we're not those people. It's like,
Larry, in 15 years of doing this, and how you said like how we talk to creators, we should have a camera rolling.
I know, you're right. You're absolutely right. But here's the thing, though. There's a reason we don't have a camera rolling, because it's like the stories that we've heard and that we've got, and sometimes every now and then we've had some interviews where after we've spoken to people and then we've asked them to come on the show, and they come on the show and they're comfortable enough that they give us interviews that are like, which I was thinking the other day, I'm like, man, we got to go back and friggin' pull some of those clips, because we have some classic stuff that people have said to us because they were comfortable and they knew, like, hey, man, like, it's basically just us talking. Yeah. So they said some stuff where it's like, it's some classic and some real stuff, whether you're talking about somebody like friggin' Snakebite or Rob Liefeld or Mark Waid. It's like, we have these amazing interviews, but the fact is, it's like those things only come when you listen to what creators have to say,
Yeah.
And that's the important part, I think, because, like these guys have these amazing stories, and it's not necessarily just stories about how they came up with ideas for things, even though I know for me, like I love hearing that stuff.
Yeah.
But I also love hearing just like what it's like, being in the trenches and what it's like, being in these moments, because the comic book industry has these highlights and these lowlights, and it's really wild to hear what it's like for people in these like golden eras of comics, and when it's like, okay, yeah, man, everything was hitting on all cylinders, and we were just out here making stuff, and it was crazy the things that we were able to have access to during that time. And then the lowlights, when they're just like, yeah, like, we were just trying to keep the lights on. And then I was writing this issue, and as far as I was concerned, this was going to be the last issue. And then we sold, we put it out, and it turned out it sold just enough that we could make one more. And it's like, okay, well, let's make one more and see. And it's like, and then all of a sudden they decided they wanted to option it for a movie. So it's insane, man. It is a wild industry. And I feel like this book is definitely beginning to touch on it. So like, I don't know where it's going to go, and I'm very interested to find out, but I'm just like, man, like it was a cool little window into, and I guess the other part I should say is I liked how this, like, and I think you mentioned this too, Mo, where it was a little bit of like drawing on inspirations of some of the stuff from the industry, but none of it felt like a direct correlation.
Right.
And I like that, where it's like, like nobody's looking at this and it's like, oh, that's definitely Stan Lee, and Stan Lee did that. It's like, no, it's not a thing where it's like, okay, no, they just changed the names. Like, no, this is like an original story that is inspired by some of the different things that could have happened or did happen in the industry, but remixed.
I didn't come away from it saying, man, that fuck, what's the dude's name? Chris, one of the Chris's, the Captain America Chris
Evans.
Yeah, Evans. Like, Chris Evans didn't give a fuck about Joe Simon. I knew it.
Right. Right. Exactly. Oh, dude. So
Texas Chris Pratt. Hey, look, I would never talk about Chris Pratt for anything.
What? Why would you
I
not
hate
talk
Chris
about Chris Pratt?
Yeah, he's a
Do you
douche.
really?
Yeah, I don't like him. He was a shitty Star-Lord. I didn't like him before that. Like, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not,
There you go.
yeah.
Mario blow you away.
I'm not gonna watch that.
We're gonna review it.
You said the what?
The Mario movie.
Mario.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah.
Look, when they mentioned that casting, I was just like, dude, like I don't even understand it. I'm like, how can Chris Pratt be Mario?
I mean, look, you might be surprised.
I could be, but I don't think I will be.
In fact, I'll say you will be.
No, jeez. Okay. Well, we'll see. Like, what I know is Chris Pratt's. What you say, Mo?
I'll be surprised that I had a whole other level of hate that I didn't know I had.
What I know is Chris Pratt is not going to do a faux Italian accent. That's not going to happen.
No,
he's going to go like Jamaican.
Listen, I don't have I don't have any big beef with Chris Pratt, but I have zero faith in his ability to even do like a Brooklyn accent. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not going to do,
a lot of people get mad if it's a Brooklyn accent. Like, they really want like that hard Italian.
That's not going to happen.
Like,
he's got
stereotype.
Whatever you do with your hands.
What'd you say, Jay?
Oh, I was saying I want Brooklyn Mario.
See, I want Chicago Italian Mario.
Chicago Italian. So like my boss Mario.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. See, look, I got more faith in Chris Pratt to do that than the Brooklyn accent Mario. Like, I could see him potentially pulling off Chicago Mario.
You don't know. It could be a gritty crime drama.
Right.
Put Mario in
I'm
the
not Pratt to do his best Captain Lou Albano impression for this movie. It'll be shit, but still.
It'll be the shit. In fact,
Well, hey, look, he's a plumber. He deals with shit.
Not
you
only
know?
will it be the shit, it'll be the shiznit.
I don't know, man. The Sonic movie, I don't think it'll be. But I could be wrong.
You
Here's
haven't seen
hoping.
Detective Pikachu, Larry?
You're right. I haven't seen the Detective
Oh my
Pikachu.
god, the disappointment.
That-
Who would have
that's-
thought Ryan Reynolds as a Pikachu? Like nobody saw that.
But
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
And he's not even full Ryan Reynolds. Like he's being dramatic Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. I got to figure out where I can go see it.
Man, we looked
So-
it up the other day. You know where you can see it.
I don't remember, but I'll look it up again and I'll go watch
The
it.
internet.
Yeah. No. I don't.
No, but he has because he actually pays for cable. He's still tied to that womb. He didn't cut the
That's what it
cord.
is.
Yeah,
I'm tied to the womb.
yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else they want to say about public domain before we rate it? Can I ask you this question real quick? How do y'all feel about the name of the movie, Eminent Domain?
It's stupid, but that's the point. I love that
Eminent
Chip
Domain.
Like I'm a dude. Like I love Chip Zdarsky. Like his work in independent comics that I've read here and there, and I haven't read a lot. You know,
Mhm.
I've Sex Criminals and this is pretty much it. And then I
Mhm.
tried, but I love him on social media. Like he's
Mm.
great at that. So
Mhm.
he's always like, so I'm a fan of him there. In addition to these other things, but him calling it Imminent Domain, it's like he basically said these superhero movies are becoming the Fast and Furious movies. Yeah. And to me, that's a great commentary because you know I kind of think the same way, yeah, to a certain degree.
Yeah.
It just happens that they're still pretty good. Some of them I enjoy some more than others.
Right.
And, some appeal to certain type of fans.
There it is.
Detective Pikachu's on Netflix.
Oh,
Bam. Thank you, Oz.
Although this is a story from November of 2021, so who knows?
Jay's gonna cry
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
I'm
gonna
sorry,
cry.
Jay. I don't even know why I keep harping on that, man. I don't know what you're going through or what kind of allergies you have. Or if you got new contacts, like we haven't talked like that. I'm over here talking about you crying, making fun of you crying on the air. I'm an insensitive prick, and I apologize.
What I was going to ask you is if you are still reading The All Nighter.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been meaning to go back to it, and I would like to blame Comixology for like me not being able to read it again, but it's not that. I'm reading other stuff on Comixology, but I should go back because that was Darsky too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that. That was an interesting idea, and did it finish or did it reach its arc?
I do not know.
Okay,
I'm a little behind.
yeah. You know what? I think I'm gonna go back and read that because I did enjoy that, and I had forgotten that was Darsky too, so I should go back.
It is. So, Jay, what would you rate? Well, okay, no, Oz, how would you rate our review of Public Domain?
He's like, "Oh, I read it."
I'm gonna give it 3.5. You didn't get me excited about reading this book.
That's fair.
Oh,
Like
because
Oz is like, he's like, comic creators and family, no thank you.
Yeah.
He's like, all the things I hate about comics.
Yeah, I mean, look, you guys are listening to their stories and crap. I'm gonna hurry up and finish drawing my sketch. Come on.
It's true. I feel
Nah,
like
but
that
that's-
is.
to me, that's like I love like talking to them while they're drawing my shit, like because I've seen it turn where like I ask them a question, they're like, "Oh, you're actually interested in that? Like you read that?" and then they just add another flair into the art. Like I've seen it happen. You know, like, oh, I'm gonna do a little more work in this, you know, and I don't do it for that
Yeah.
reason, but I've seen it
Oh.
happen, you know.
No, I've seen it too.
Yeah.
I
I've seen
have
it with your
also
stuff.
seen something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Moses Magnum, how would you rate?
Like, it's a 6 or 7 out of 5. It's just like you know, I'm the dude that asks like on interviews, like, what do they have for breakfast? Like, what's your morning routine? Like, what time do you wake up?
Right.
You know, like I love this. The creative this is why my favorite comic book movie of all time is American Splendor. Like, I love the process, the creative process. I love what it takes to make a comic. You know, not and you know, and this takes it to a whole other level where it's like the comics made. This is what it takes to make a living. You know, and raising
Right.
your fucking kids, and the result of how it went down.
Right. Right. Now I hear that. Jay, what would you rate Public Domain #1?
I would give it like a 4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I am
Did you not like that
it.
shadow on that one panel?
I honestly didn't notice, but I am enjoying it. I don't know why it's not a 5, but I think it's an interesting idea. I love the character of the father. Like, he's amazing. Like, I love how he just is like just happy to be involved. Like, he goes to the red carpet and just smiles, and like he just seems so happy. And now he finds out that he actually owns. Like, I want to know what happens. Like, I'm invested in this guy's story.
There it is. And at the end of the day, it feels like that's what it boils down to. And yeah, for that reason, I'm gonna give it a 5 too. I'm just like, I liked it. Like, I liked it a lot. And you know, the funny thing is, like, there's no part of me that dislikes Zdarsky's art. However, I could definitely see that this book could be maybe a little bit better served with a different artist. But at the same time, I kind of feel like this is a passion project, you know what I mean? Where like you can feel that this story is a very personal thing that he's telling. And so not only could it be a part of it where it's like he's just like, I just want to do it myself because I know what I would like to see. But also too, like it very well could just be very much a part of like what like similar to what happens in the well, I won't say what happens in the book, but a practical consideration of making comics where it's just like I got to pay somebody else to make these pages if I don't do it myself. You know, and so either
all
way,
he has to
I'm
do
just
is make a Kickstarter and send me the link.
there it is. Moses is like, I'll blow it up, and this could be Oliver Coipel.
Yeah, we get Jim Lee.
It could be what?
We could get Jim Lee.
Jim Lee, man. Jim Lee's like, who's your corporate sponsor?
Here comes the
money. Jim Lee's like, what conglomerate are you connected to, though?
Yeah.
He's like, I have to draw, but no. No, I'm messing around. I'm sorry.
What I would say to your point, Larry, is that there you can see the panels and pages where the passion really shines through in this art style, and one of them was the two brothers talking about everything, and the art there just seemed flawless, and I saw it move. Like it just felt like I'm watching like a good warm movie, like heartwarming movie in that moment. You know?
Yeah. It's so funny too because
now I'm crying, Jay.
like there's a point in this book, you know, like where again, like this is going back, like which there's a reason I promise you that I keep talking about the same interview scene. it's a pivotal part of this book, and it's an amazing scene for so many different reasons. So when you read it, you'll be like, yeah, I get it. But you should go and read it. But there's a point where the actor that plays the Domain is like, he's on his phone. He's waiting for the next interview to happen, which is with the Sun. That's the newspaper reporter. And, there's a point where like the handler is basically telling him like, hey, you got like this interview and like 2 more and then you're done. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And then like, I think they like introduce, or actually, no, I guess the Sun comes in and he gives this like big smile. And this weird, like, kind of unnatural kind of smile, which is it's very reminiscent of what Anthony Starr does, like, on The Boys with Homelander, where it's like, sometimes he's like, he has this regular face, like, that's like, he looks like sad, and then all of a sudden he just busts out into this, this crazy kind of grin, and you're
He's
just like,
really good at that.
Yeah.
dude, it's insane, right?
I almost
and it's
thought that, like, in the movie version of this book, like, Anthony Starr should play that character.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And he gives this crazy smile, and the woman basically, like, his handler tells him, like, no video. And he's like, oh, cool. And then he, like, goes to normal. Like, back to normal. And it's just crazy because it's like this super, like, weird and natural kind of thing where it's like, dude, like, if you didn't feel that way, like, you can still be a human being, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can be happy to speak to somebody, and it doesn't have to be, like, the happiest you've ever been.
Yeah.
You can just be like, okay, who are you? And if you're unhappy about it, I mean, you can be that too. You don't have to be a dick about it, obviously, but, and it's a funny thing. But, having worked in the entertainment industry, I've definitely seen that.
Well,
I'm just like, and it's really wild because I'm just like, man, like, he captured that moment so perfect because, people like try to turn on.
one of the big examples is when oh, sorry, Larry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, but that's it. Like, they turn on, and I'm just like, man, he hit the nail on the head there. But what were you gonna say?
Well, because we had a similar moment once with Corey Taylor from Slipknot, where he was like tired of doing all these interviews, and they told him, we got one left, but he just looked at us and said, "Look, I've been doing this all day, man. I'm losing my voice, and And he goes, my voice. Once I start losing my voice, I know I gotta stop because he's a singer, But they're promoting and he was like, he was good to talk to us. He talked to us like you said, like a human being. Like, you know, he wasn't the happiest moment. We're the last interview there, but he still gave us what he could, what he would. Like, he wasn't like, I'm over this,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole thing where it's like, I mean, when you give somebody a real moment or at least I'll say this. I guess I can't say that for everybody. What I can say is, in our experience, if you're going to act human with us, we're going to act human with you regardless, honestly. Yeah. You can be fake because we've definitely been there too. Like, and I feel like that happens to be a lot where I'm the one conducting an interview and somebody gets all weird and I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm like, this is where we're at. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna like match that energy. I'm gonna still do me, but I'm gonna try to do whatever I can to like make you like disarm you and make you feel comfortable. Like, I want you to be a person. I'm not here for like the canned answers, and so yeah. And honestly, it's not even about like I'll take canned answers from a regular person. I just don't want you to be in a space where you feel like you have to perform for me because I'm not looking for a performance. Like, I'm not a director. I'm just a person that has like I'm genuinely interested in who you are and what you do. Yeah. And and I want to like explore that, and so hopefully we could do that together.
Kind of why we do so few of those, because it's usually who we just we're curious about, we care about. Yeah.
It's true, 100%. It's 100%. And I'm working on the idea of doing some more, like a more regular kind of interview thing for us, because I think we should get back to some interviews. But
Yeah.
I definitely, like, I'm trying to figure out the right way to do it so that it doesn't have to come across like, we're in that space. I want to get that more natural kind of thing going on. So I'm working on it. Give me a little bit of time. So okay. I already said a 5, right? Did I say a 5? It's a 5.
Yeah.
Okay. The end. All right. So man, we got a little bit of time before the show ends. Anybody got anything they want to talk about real quick, or anything that anybody excited about anything?
Things?
Say again?
Did you finish Stranger Things?
I haven't finished Stranger Things yet.
We'll see.
Is it? Well, I mean, it's like it's what, 8 or 10 episodes?
Well, now like
It's
10
9 total. It's 9 total.
Oh, 9 now total. Yeah.
Okay, but wait, is it 9 for this first half?
7 came out in the first half.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 came out last week.
Yeah. On the first.
I think the last one is like 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
Wait, they came out last week?
On the first. Yeah, we talked about that, Larry. I told you that.
I remember y'all mentioning it, but I thought it was, for some reason, it was like further away than that. It was the first?
Yeah, the first.
Damn.
Like, so, even when we talked about it initially, it was like it's only like a month apart. Like they're just they were shooting it as it came out, and they were adding the finishing touches. That's the only reason they really split them.
Let me ask you all this: do you all feel like, I mean, we're talking about something like Stranger Things here? Would you prefer the batch model for Netflix stuff, or would you prefer it to come out like weekly?
Oh, batch.
Okay. Well,
yeah, I don't have.
You were gonna say that because you're the like right now guy. Always.
No, but it's not even that. It's the time. I can't make a weekly appointment for TV. Like this ain't must see TV Thursdays on NBC. We don't need that no more. I know what they're trying to do is trying to get me to keep paying the fucking subscription. And Netflix, what they do is they just bombard you with new shit that you don't even know is there. So once you finish something, the algorithm shows something to you, and that's how they get you. They just have a lot of content. But Disney Plus, they're doing different stuff, maybe better content. I don't know. Paramount is on that same model, and everybody else is on that same model. They want to lock you in for that subscription fee. Netflix is like, and that's why the stock is like that too with Netflix. It's dropping because they do the batch model. But I mean, people love that. Like, you get people coming back month to month. Every time something, eventually you'll do good. But for me, it's like, what did I watch? Hulu did a show called The Bear, and I don't know if I just got on it late or they dropped it out all at once. They had 8 episodes. I watched all those 8 episodes in one sitting. And I was happy to do it. I'm like, oh, fuck, yeah, this show's good. I don't want to stop watching it. But if you make me stop watching it, it's the same thing I said with comics and DC Infinite. It's like by the time the next issue comes out, I'm on reading Chip Zdarsky's new book. By the time Disney Plus, there's a new episode of Obi-Wan. They're lucky that I knew Tiger Claw was gonna ask, so I made sure to watch it. But I'd be reading Chip Zdarsky's new book by the time the next episode came out. So of Obi-Wan. So for me, I do the batch because I do all my like bulk TV watching I do on my day off on Sundays. And so if I can just like do a whole thing, I could do 2 whole series on a Sunday sometimes. So
how do you feel about it, Oz? Like, you rather batch or you like week to week?
I prefer the batch. I don't have a huge problem with week to week, but I prefer the batch because I don't have time to watch everything in a single sitting. But I might be able to watch one episode today, another episode tomorrow, maybe one episode a day for like 3 or 4 days in a row. And if it like when the first half came out with Stranger Things specifically, I was able to do that. I'm watching that with the wife, and we had 3 nights in 1 week that we could watch it. So we watched 3 episodes. Whereas something like Obi-Wan, that was weekly,
Mhm.
she's like, "Hey, has the new one come out?" I was like, "No, we gotta wait till Wednesday." And so we'll
Mm.
have like there might be a Tuesday where we've caught up on this and we're waiting for that. Now what?
Right.
So I
Right.
I I don't I don't have a problem with the weekly because there's some stuff that I just caught up with Superman and Lois, and that's a weekly thing.
Right.
I haven't caught up with Flash or The
Mhm.
Boys. There's a lot of
Mhm.
stuff that I haven't caught up with that is now 2 or 3 episodes in the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
so I
should
don't have
definitely
a
catch up on The
problem with it.
Boys.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So
How
yes,
about you,
I
Jay?
I don't have a problem with weekly, but I would rather have it sitting there waiting for me.
So you can watch at your own leisure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear that. Like you're basically saying what Mo says too. Yeah, yeah. Which how about you, Jay?
Depends on if there's uh like it depends on the fandom aspect. Like if I
Okay.
can get into like there are shows that I watch that are weekly, but then there's a whole bunch of fan content to watch in between episodes, and I really enjoy that. Um,
Like what's an example of that? Like when you say fan content in between episodes, like what's a good example that you like?
well, like okay, so for instance, I was watching The Owl House,
Mhm.
and every week the round table is doing breakdowns,
Mhm.
theories.
Mhm.
Whitney Vision
Yeah.
will do like a video every like couple weeks or so,
Yeah.
and just like that kind of thing. I really do enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, and that only happens with week to week.
Got you.
But if that's not there, then yeah, I'll binge.
Got you. Yeah, 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 no, and I feel you on that. Where there is something to be said about particular shows that have communities around them where people like to analyze and speculate about things that are going down. That is kind of a cool thing, and also I feel like that's why like Disney Plus does the week to week model because they feel like certain shows will generate buzz. I think from week to week, whereas like people like they're trying to. I think Mo's right, and part of it is just like extending the subscription, but I do think a part of it is more about the marketing aspect of it, where they're like, you know, if we drop it all in a batch, then the conversation around that show is for the week or 2 weeks that dropped, and that's it. But if we do it
For
week to
I,
week,
I believe they say a batch conversation lasts at most a month.
right,
So it's like week to week, you've got like more people talking, more people
right,
watching. You
and
could generate
and
steam with like
right,
because people are telling their friends, or friends are coming in,
hmm
and you
and
get way more engagement with the week to
and
week.
and that's a month if your show is good. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like,
How long does Squid Games last?
Oh, it's still going.
Yeah,
yeah,
People are still talking about that.
right. So it just depends. Like it pushes you to make better content. You know.
but I don't think Squid Games, like the legs that conversation has, isn't about as much how good it is as much as the moment I think it came out in. Like, I feel like if Squid Game didn't come out during the pandemic, it would have been a different thing.
It
And
didn't come out
and
during.
that's not to lessen um the importance or the it's not like it's not as good of a show. It's still a good show. It's just that,
It's all
people had
right.
less to do. Huh?
I guess I don't know. I don't. I I just want my entertainment. I don't give a fuck about engagement, and I know how. Like I know if people working from home, there's no water cooler to talk at, you know. So,
Right.
but there's the internet, I guess. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just the week thing, you know, you say the engagement thing, but it's really just to keep people locked in a subscription.
I don't think that's true. Like, I think that there's shows that have like that kind of community, like like how I know, like there was a conversation about what was happening in the Mandalorian from week to week.
Right. But
And
I think that'll would be another one that would outlast the month.
right, it did.
I think people would like, you wouldn't get the amount of people watching it from one week to another, the way like the growth, but you would have it from month to month, and it would have lasted about 3 or 4 or 5, 6 months of growth. But
If it came out in a batch,
yeah,
nah, I disagree. I don't think that's the case at all.
you can disagree and be wrong, but
But
it's just
why would that happen?
because that's what happens with a lot of stuff. Like you know, there's shows that aren't as good as other shows, like on Netflix, and I hear people talking about them months, years after. You know,
Shows or movies?
shows.
Really? Like what?
Yeah, like Dark, You. Um, there's a couple. Like I have, you know, Dark is something. Like, have you seen Dark? I'm like, bitch, I told you about Dark when it came out.
Right. No, I
Like,
agree
when
with
did
you.
you
I
tell
feel like
me on the
Dark is
podcast?
definitely
Oh,
one
you
of
do a
those
podcast?
shows. Look, I agree
And
with
then
you.
I go,
I feel
yes,
like
mom, I do a podcast. Why can't you be like Larry's mom and watch him suffer watching terrible shit?
It's funny.
But
Yeah,
you know,
no.
the point is moot, because either way, we're the ones spending the money, and they're not telling us, like, they're not, you know, eventually what people want is what they're gonna get, one way or another. You know,
I mean, and I feel you on that, and to a degree, I think you're right. But at the same time, I don't know, because it's like Disney made a choice,
right?
and people are basically gonna they're gonna nobody's gonna stop watching Star Wars because it won't come out in a batch.
Well, I know people that do. The people that wait for the batch to be out to watch it.
Yeah. I
It's
do
like
know those people too.
my
Yeah.
brother. Yeah, but the subscription's still there. They might not be paying for it, but but somebody is, you know.
I
And
hear you.
like my brother, he's like, man, fuck this. I forgot what he was talking about. Man, fuck this Obi-Wan. Like, I thought it was over, and now I gotta wait a whole other week because he thought it was, the batch was there.
Right.
And yeah, now I'm over here watching the Bad Batch, waiting for this shit.
Oof, Bad Batch is so good.
Yeah, he knows that shit too. But
I see.
But you know, and that's the thing. It's like Disney has something for the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna keep that subscription going, irregardless of what the shows that you like are batch or not. Now, my dogs don't like that kitty shit. So if I was paying for Disney Plus, when they have all the Star Wars done, then I'd sign up.
Gotcha. I see Black and Pat jumped into the chat. What up, Black and Pat? Saying, I enjoy taking in a story all at once versus piecemeal, and when it's good, I'll never stop talking about it. And there you go. I mean,
happy birthday to Panda.
Is it Panda's birthday today?
I think it was like a day ago or 2 days ago.
Oh, happy belated birthday, Panda. Yeah, so that's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I had necessarily have a preference. I honestly think that there's definitely, like, you all know me. I think that there should be like a hybrid model. I don't know that any one.
Right.
I think there's some stories that would be better served coming out week to week, and there's other stories that would make more sense just coming out in a batch.
If they wanted to make money off of, if they wanted me to make money off of my brother wanting it strictly batch, they would charge extra for batch and base, a premium.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, anytime, like, I love that show, The Offer. Paramount Plus has commercials during The Offer. I told my brother, "Hey, man, gotta watch The Offer." He's like, "Oh, Paramount Plus. I don't have Paramount Plus." I'm like, "Hey, I got you, man. Here, use my password."
Right.
After the first episode, he's like, "Hey, man, how much does it cost to get rid of commercials? I'll give you the year for the." So that's how I get rid of commercials.
The collabo. I love
I
it.
pay the base fee. He pays the commercial-free fee. Yeah.
There it is.
And then
There
if
it
they
is.
try to kick me out, I'll sue their ass because it's a collaborative effort. We're both paying.
Right. All right. It's time for us to get out of here. Let's play that wrap-up music.
Wrap up music?
All right. Oscar, give us some final thoughts, buddy.
A lot of people upset that Superman and Lois isn't part of the Arrowverse.
That's what makes it good.
Say you just now noticed that?
All right, exactly, right? Like, what were you watching?
Like, there's world-ending stuff going on. I don't see no Flash. I don't see no Supergirl.
Right.
Well, not only that, but they start off with a whole Lex Luthor from another universe. Like, it's designed to be the idea of different universes.
Yeah. Jay, final thoughts.
I read Clementine book 1, and it's really good. Like, I would definitely suggest it to reading, suggest reading it.
Cool. That's in Walking Dead continuity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walking Dead, yeah. So cool. Or the Walking Dead comic continuity, I should say. So, Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
I wanted to talk about Stranger Things, but I couldn't. But what I will say is that I went into the season thinking that it was the last season, and the way it ended, I was like super happy with. And it turns out there's a 5th season coming, and now I'm mad.
How dare they make more stuff you enjoy?
Well, the thing is, every season ends with an open ending that maybe, there could be more, but they're all like Empire Strikes Back ending. They're all like hopeful, like happy endings, but depressing, And this one had that too, and it's like, if this is the best one of these endings they've done. Like, you watch the show enough, every season that we review it, it's like, I want it to end here. After season 3, I don't want more. Yeah. And now season 4, I don't want more. And it's like, oh, they're getting a fit. Well, fuck these greedy bastards. Like, the way it ends each season, I'm happy with. It's cosmic horror. You need to. You don't need answers to your questions. This whole season, they answered a lot of questions, and the ending still managed to leave me on that cosmic horror cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love it as a Lovecraftian cosmic horror fan. Like, it's a finely aged bourbon. Like, it's perfect. You don't need season 5.
I like that he does the collector thing.
Indeed. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We'll be back next week. So if there's anything you want to let us know, anything you want to make sure that we talk about, hit us up on social media, whether it be Twitter or on our Instagram. Let us know what it is you like, what you don't like. And we'll go ahead and make sure we incorporate and answer your questions. We're the Fantastic Forum. Good night.